love that story that you told. That was really cute. It's about the energy of love, and I'm always loving it because we get these talk titles and we don't know what the other one's going to talk about, and I'm like, wow, we say the same thing almost all the time, but in different ways. And when we're talking about love, I'm going to start with this wonderful quote, and I don't know who even said it, but it's about love, and it's that we came from love, and we'll return to love. And we're seeking love the whole time in between, and love is seeking us. I love that. And I just want you to feel that, because that's what this is really about. It's all about this energy. We're talking about energy today. And we're talking about our highest energy is the power of love. And that's what was going on. There was an exchange between Judy and the guy, actually, and the woman with the kids. It's this exchange of love that runs through every cell in our body. It runs through every air particle, every molecule. That's the power of love at the highest level. And that's what we're kind of talking about today. Everything is about love. But here's what I know, that life hurts. Where's the power of love sometimes? You don't feel it, but it's there. And I think that if we keep this in mind, whatever's going on in your life, that the power of love is there, even though life hurts. So I went walking. I go walking with my daughters on Thursdays, and we go over to Yorba Park. It's in Anaheim, or Yorba Linda, I guess. And you remember the windstorms, how bad they were? This is like the craziest windstorms I think I've ever seen. And out at my house in Anaheim Hills, it was just crazy. And as we walked the next day, that whole park looked like it was a tornado zone. There were big trees and stumps all over the place. And as we went ahead and walked, and we were walking through the path, and as we walked, we saw a bird's nest that had been blown out of the tree, and then these little fledglings that were dead. And, our heart just kind of broke, and we kept walking and, kind of blessed them as we walked along. I don't know what that is with me. I was talking about dead ladybugs last week, but it must be something. But anyway, as we were walking, I got to thinking about this poem that Martin Nepo, he's my favorite writer, and the favorite book of his is called The Book of Awakening. And he does this writing about the Creator's cycle. And I want to talk about the cycle of life a little bit and our creation in it. But I'm just going to read you a couple of parts of what he says. He says, nothing escapes the Creator's cycle, not plants, horses, trees, birds, or human beings. Not the life of the mind, the life of the heart, and not the life of the spirit. All living things gather, spark new life, fall apart, and then emerge in new ways. Each soul is a gust of God's breath unfolding in the great energy that surrounds us like an ever-moving stream. The goal is to live in the stream with humility and aliveness. Then he says, thin and fragrant petals don't hide from the wind. They survive to die, and they break ground again. Even within our own life, we shed and we reroot. We break, we bleed, and we rearrange into yet another beautiful thing that learns how to reach. Resisting this process doubles our pain, but singing our way through it is the source of wisdom and beauty. Don't you love that? That's who we are. We break and we bleed, and then we rearrange our life to go on to the next process of life. We go on to the next thing. And how we do it is what's important, and that's what I want to talk about. How do we resist it? Or do we accept it and move through it? That's the Creator's cycle. Here's what I know is that when our nest falls, right, and all of our nests fall to the ground sometimes, and we have to, pick up and we have to move forward. How do we do it? That's what I want to talk about today, because how we do it matters. And sometimes, we do it with ego and resistance, revenge. We do it a lot of different ways. And sometimes we do it with acceptance, and we move to the next step, And what I know is that most of us, when stuff happens in our life, we want it to stay the same, right? Same just doesn't happen. Once it crashes, new life is born in us. And we hold back and we resist because we want the same. And it's not possible with this cycle of life that is in all of us, in the life of the spirit, in the life of the mind, in the life of the human. Same doesn't happen. It rebirths in a new way. So we either get to, and I always love this because I make these up and I think I'm so smart here, that we either resist and resent, or we accept and we ask. See, and that's how we have to look at it each time. Are we resisting and resenting what's happened in our life, or are we accepting and then asking? And what I'm talking about is asking, not why, because we'll never really know why, but what we're doing is asking God, asking something bigger than us to move through us and show us. I remember times when I didn't think I could make it, and I'd lay in bed at night, and I would just go, show me, God, show me, God. I don't know how to move forward. How do I move forward in my life? And with that, and that's to me is surrender. It's a surrendering of all the ego, of anything that gets in the way. We let it move through us, and we ask. And with surrender, the answers come, because we're at a whole different level of consciousness. It's allowing. And when we allow, it's like we open this channel. This whole channel moves through us. And the Spirit of God, call it what you want, the Spirit of love, moves through us and works in our life. And I swear to God it works. I believe this with all my heart, that if we surrender and ask, that our next step comes. And we know what it is. We listen to that still voice, and it's there. So if you have anything in your life, now that you're going through, that's what you do. You don't resist it. You open up and you ask and take the next indicated step, because see, the truth is that when we resist, we're using these lower energies of our life, because we're energy beings, and what we do, how we make our choice depends on our next thing that happens to us. We're creating, I think Judy mentioned it, we're creating our next circumstances by how you are responding to what's happening now. So the truth is that when there's something in your life and it's so devastating, you can't handle it, the truth is you can't just say, okay, I'm going to be happy, I'm happy, it didn't happen. You have to grieve the moment. But you grieve the moment by feeling it and letting God move through it. You don't grieve it by resisting it, by changing it, because it did happen. You accept and you ask God, when that cycle of pain hits, to move through you. So you have to ask yourself, do I rebuild with the energy of something higher, or do I rebuild and shape my life with these lower energies of the ego? Because that makes a difference in what happens next. We are choosing our life, because we go through many rebirths in our life, don't we? We change as human beings all the time. And every moment makes a difference on how we respond to what's going on in our life. Because we are energy beings. This change happens on an energetic level. It doesn't usually happen out there. It happens inside of us. And so I want to talk about the energy for a moment, because to me, our energy is so important, because it's what creates. It's what shapes our life. So everything in the universe is energy. From this podium to the chairs, to you, to the sun, everything is energy vibrating. Everything is. And within all that energy is this loving intelligence. You call that what you will. But it's God. It's the power of intelligence that moves through us. So we get the choice to tap into it, to let that direct our life. But we got to choose it. We forget to choose. We just get on automatic and we go. But this essence of energy is this creative expression in our life. So if you want to create the life of beauty and abundance and love, you tap into that energy and let it create. You align your will with divine will. Our little egos don't know anything. There was a time when I thought it did, that I would make boards and I would decide how I wanted my life to be directed. And I do think you can manifest out at that level, right? But the moment that you breathe in and ask and allow, your life creates more powerful than you ever thought it could. So I love the whole idea of energy, because I get it. I get how we're created and how we can shape our lives. And I'm reading a book, and it's an old book. I don't even know if you get it anymore. It's Joseph Naff, called Soul Making. And he's talking about these energies. And there's all these lower energies and these higher energies within us. But he's talking about that most of us work with this automatic energy. It's like a mindless, whatever, we just move automatic pilot. We're not in our lives, right? Our life is moving and we haven't caught up with it yet. Does that make sense? Have you done that before where you're driving and you all of a sudden got where you are and you haven't even remembered driving? That's what I'm talking about, brushing your teeth and you go, did I take that pill or did I brush my teeth? You know, that's what we're talking about here, is that most of us live our lives like that. You know, we're on automatic pilot all the time, and that's an energy. Now we're creating, think about that. We're creating with our lives. So you're creating your next step when you're in this automatic pilot. Who knows what you're creating? You can tell by how your life's running. That's usually what happens. So you're creating an automatic pilot, unless you're not, right? Okay, now here's what he talks about, creative energy. Because when we change that energy and we become conscious and present, like Judy does, she's a very present person, she's, knows how to do this. So she taps into this place of creative energy. Did I say something wrong?
No.
Usually after I get done, somebody goes, did you really say that, you know? But what I'm talking about is that this creative energy, right? We think we can just tap into it. Truth is, I don't believe we can. I think that grace has to tap into us, because that's what it is. It's the power of grace that moves through us. See, that's when we let go, when we open the channel, grace moves through. Grace, that's the power of God, moves through us. See, and that's what directs our life. So we only can be ready for it, right? We can open up and be ready. Sometimes it takes a while. I've been open for a long time and nothing comes through. And then months. But when you're ready, when it's ready, right? When God's ready for you, okay? When God's ready for you, then sound like a Baptist preacher, didn't I? Then it moves through you. It moves through you, you know? And it's like God finds us, right? It's like, you know, I can remember times I'm going, where are you, God? God, you know, come, Holy Spirit. Remember that one, Judy? Come, Holy Spirit, come, you know. Nothing comes, you know. But the truth is that we put our hands up and God seeks us. Like in that opening when I said, you seek God and God seeks you. That's the truth. That God finds us when we're ready. But we got to be emptied and we got to be surrendered. Because most of the time we aren't. We're fooling around in our ego somewhere. And God can't get in. The energy can't get in. So the truth is that you got to be open. You got to be open. And I swear to God, God will find you. God will find you. Just be open, be surrendered, and you'll feel something move through you, and you'll know. That's what intuition is. When you're open to it, and you start to look at the signs, that energy runs through you, and it loves you. See? And I love what Judy said about, we each have this unique role in life. Each one of you have this unique purpose in life. And your purpose changes. Your purpose at that moment was to buy that ice cream. You know, if you're open, you know what your purpose is. You know, because God births something in you if you stay open. See, we just have to allow the inner energies, those higher energies, to do the work for us. And you do it by surrendering, you know, by being open, being loving, you know. And the truth is that we're here, you guys, to serve. We're here to serve something bigger than ourselves. And that's given to us when we're open. You know, we're here to serve and to love and to remember who we are. That's our gift back to life. You were given precious human birth. I was, and sometimes it's just like overwhelming that we got to live this lifetime right now, and that's so purposeful. And that our repayment is to live a life that's worthy. To live a life that's worthy of the gift we were given, and that's so important to remember. So I want to close with the same thing I opened with. Everything is love. Everything. Sometimes it doesn't appear that way, but if you can get it in your cells that there's still love in that situation, love is there. Become the open channel and give birth to this next moment. That's who we are. The next moment is love. So once again, I'll close with the same words, and it's, you were born into love, and into love you will return. And in between, you will seek love, and love, or God, will seek you. Thank you.